Welcome back to the Formula Regional Middle East Championship, certified by FIA, here at the Dubai Autodrome. We are Feline Wang and Jake Sanson, and we're gearing up for race 2.
各位观众，大家好，欢迎回到我们的直播现场。即将进行的是中东区域方程式第2回合的正赛了。我们现在是在迪拜国际赛车场。那么我是菲林，在我身边的是 Jake。So Jake, tell us about what happened yesterday. I know the battle would finish until the last minute.
It really was very tight indeed, but the rivalry that we predicted going into the season between Gabriele Mini and Dino Beganovic is very strong. Both drivers had the chance to win, but it was Dino that got the first win of the season yesterday. Gabriele is going to have to bounce back big time today with a grid that's going to be very different.
对，那么我们提到呢，在昨天的比赛当中呢，也是竞争的非常激烈。Mini 本来是处在领先的位置，但是到最后呢，却被 Dino 超越。最后 Dino 拿到了本赛季的第1回合正赛的冠军。同时呢，在这一场的比赛当中，即将进行的第2回合，我们还会采取倒序发车的形式，所以会让比赛变得更加的有趣。
So before we get into the race action itself, we managed to catch up with the championship coordinator of Formula Regional Middle East, Davide Gobbi.
那么等一下，先让我们看一看关于赛事负责人邓大为的一个采访。
It's more exciting because we have many cars. Actually, already last year it was very successful with the regional. This year we add Formula 4. That is, of course, is an extra number of cars, more teams. So it was one of our plan already last year to try to go out of UAE, and we are exploring the possibility to go even farther for next year. The challenge is that, we need more staff, we need more people. There's a lot of things that we need to care. Looking at the starting grid is really impressive because we have all the best team, European team, Asian teams, the best drivers. Most of the junior program drivers are joining this championship, so I expect that will be a very competitive series. We are trying to build something that is going to be stable for the years. Already starting from last year, we have seen that is a good package for team and drivers coming here. Now we enlarged with Formula 4. The feedback is good from the team and driver, so we believe that is something that will develop and will be stable for the following year. So we expect a promising future.
So after yesterday's enthralling encounter, we get to do it all again this morning, and it really is going to be a sensational battle out on the course. We are very excited and very spellbound as to how things are going to play out. I'm Jake Sanson in the commentary box here at Dubai Autodrome, and wowee, is this going to be an exciting challenge for all of the contenders around this 5.39 kilometer circuit. Grade 1 FIA, and it is very much putting the drivers to the absolute test. What you do need to know going into this race is that the starting positions for race 2 are determined by the results from race 1, with the top 10 finishers reversed. So Dino Beganovic, who won yesterday's race, will now have to start from P10. Gabriele Mini was actually this one, so the rivalry will continue down in 10th and 11th on the starting grid. It's going to be very exciting. Let's look back over what happened yesterday. The drama began right from the get-go as Gabriele Mini held his own, trying to force a bit of an opportunity into the lead of the race early doors. Lots of great action as the light was fading fast, but Dino Beganovic put pressure on Gabriele Mini all the way through the encounter. Great racing from the start, and everybody away fairly cleanly. It was always going to be an interesting one as the drivers tried to get themselves up to speed. But the Mumbai Falcons were battling away throughout, the likes of Andrea Kimi Antonelli and Rafael Camara trying to challenge up at the sharp end of the field. The fans were loving it, and so were we in the commentary box. PHM saw Joshua Dufek going to battle with his teammate Nikita Bedrin. Sadly, Bedrin would rush out of the race as 2 with Levi Revej. Sami Megatunev had his problems later on as well. And that's why we had the safety car called, initially for Levi Revej and the damage that was brought out onto the circuit. But then there would be a second safety car period after the battle got too close for comfort between Sami Megatunev and Nikita Bedrin. Fortunately, Megatunev was okay, as was Nikita Bedrin. The marshals cleared things up quickly, and after a brief safety car period, we were able to go racing once again. And on the restart, boy were we in for a show. Despite confusion on the timing screen as to when the last lap would actually begin, Dino Beganovic and Gabriele Mini gave us so much drama. Mini was so determined to hang on to the lead that coming out of the final turn, he would squeeze Dino Beganovic to the wall in what we thought was the final lap showdown. But he would later be penalised for the manoeuvre. Dino Beganovic was able to take the victory by taking the checkered flag with ease. A fabulous run, Matthias Zagazeta coming second, and from the back of the grid, Taylor Barnard charged his way through to third. What a race to start the season. You couldn't really have asked for more drama and more intrigue in the opening race of the season, and there's that to continue into this race. Beganovic starting P10 and Mini starting P11 for the grid. But with the top 10 positions from yesterday being reversed, it now means we've got Nikhil Bora starting in pole position, and he is down on the starting grid in car with Verlene Wang ready to talk to him.
Hey, Nikhil, start from P1, and what will you do to stay at the front?
Well, you know, we have new tires, and not a lot of people have the new, so just trying to get my head down and see if we need to defend later in the race, but more or less it's just going to do like as fast as laps as I can and try to pull away from the field.
那刚刚呢，我问到 Nikhil 他是如何来保持这个第一的位置，因为他呢他提到的他用到的是一套旧胎，那么呢他可能之后呢会有许多的就是要defend 要defend 的地方，所以说呢他会保持住自己的位置，也希望呢能会有一个好的比赛。Back to you guys.
Thanks, Verlene. It was obviously a very important race for Nikhil Bora yesterday to finish in 10th position. That's where he consolidated, and he's just pointed out to us there that he's going to be starting the race on fresh tyres, so he's got a great opportunity to go for his first win in Formula Regional. And he knows how to deal with pressure. He's just come off the back of lifting the Indian Racing League Championship Trophy title for Godspeed Kochi last month on the streets of Hyderabad, so he knows how to deal with pressure. There's Aidan Neate, who comes into Formula Regional for the first time, having been in F4 for the last couple of seasons. But Aidan Neate has definitely got plenty of opportunity to charge his way forward. It's a big step up for him to go from the F4 car to Formula Regional, and he's acquitting himself very well indeed. A top 10 finish in his first race of the season yesterday. Very admirable indeed. And going from P2 means that while he had a lot of bad luck in F4, he might actually be able to come away with a race victory at the start of his Formula Regional campaign. Third position, though, is a man who knows this car and this championship very well indeed. Lorenzo Flusha, the Spanish talent, who lines up third position on the starting grid for the Mumbai Falcons racing team. He has a real opportunity here, and that is not going to be lost on him. He's a very skillful young competitor, knows exactly how to make these things come to his way. He's very good at dealing with pressure as well. So it's going to be an exceptional challenge for him to try and move his way forward. Fourth position on the starting grid is Sebastian Øgaard, and he's been an absolutely terrific competitor this weekend thus far. So Sebastian Øgaard definitely one to keep an eye on for the MP Motorsport squad. Joshua Dufek lining up in fifth position on the starting grid in row 3. He has a great opportunity, having had some good experience last year. This is when he really gets to step up and go for an opportunity himself, and I know that Oliver and Sarah are going to be watching very closely to see how their boy gets on. Rafael Camara lining up 6th position on the grid, the Brazilian charge, and he's got a good opportunity as well for the Mumbai Falcons team, moving into this squad for his Formula Regional campaign. And then in 7th place, the boy that everybody's talking about, Andrea Kimi Antonelli, the man who won F4 titles in Italy and Germany last year, as well as picking up the gold medal in the FIA Motorsport Games for Italy in October. Did a fantastic job at Paul Ricard last year, but here he is in Formula Regional, still only 16 years of age, the Italian, who is also part of the Mercedes Young Driver Programme. And what an opportunity for him in 7th place. Taylor Barnard, though, well, everybody is just shouting and screaming about him from the rooftops. From the back of the grid to 3rd in yesterday's race. Truly extraordinary. Just when you think that you've seen the best of Taylor Barnard, he pulls off a drive like that. Really impressive. And he will go from 8th on the grid for this one. 9th on the grid is the man who was runner-up yesterday. That is Matthias Zagazeta. So Matthias Zagazeta, the Peruvian, is going to find himself there in position 9 on the starting grid from the outside of row 5. And the winner from yesterday, Dino Beganovic, who is also part of a Formula 1 drivers programme, namely the Ferrari drivers programme, he lines up 10th on the grid. Gabriele Mini, who was demoted to 11th place in yesterday's race after the 5-place penalty, I should say, that was given to him. Mini thought the race was over. So did a few of us, to be fair, when we saw the timing screens yesterday, but the extra lap wasn't taken into consideration. And so Gabriele Mini dropped to 11th position in the end. Mari Boya, the talented Spanish driver, lines up 12th position on the grid. Now, he's one to watch for in race 3 because he'll be starting from the front row of the grid on fresh tyres. So Mari Boya going for his first Formula Regional victory later on today, but he could do something quite special from 12th on the grid. Francesco Braschi lines up 13th place on the grid on the inside of row 7, alongside Pepe Marti, who's had a bit of a nightmare start to this season, considering he was second in the standings last year and now finds himself down in 14th this time. Sebastian Montoya, likewise, he won the opening race of the season in Abu Dhabi last year, of course, and here he has struggled to get up to speed. Something is definitely not right with the car, because we know that Sebastian Montoya is a race winner. He's just joined the Red Bull programme, and it's already been a very difficult start to his campaign. One of the stars, though, in terms of qualifying pace, Taz Interfivazak, the Thai driver, he's also going to be starting from the sharp end of the field in race 3 later, and he will go off 16th position on the grid for this one. Then we have Rafael Villagomez. He's going to be lining up 17th on the grid on the inside of row 9, alongside the Korean talent Michael Shin. And then Jack Crawford, who's also having a bit of a miserable opening round of the championship, 19th on the grid for him in front of Giovanni Mascio. Then Han Chen-Yu, the Chinese driver, alongside Niels Kuhlen, the Dutchman. Daniel Mavlyutyov is going to be 23rd on the grid alongside Brad Benavides. And then Sami Megatunov, the Frenchman, will line up beside Nikita Bedrin. And then 27th on the grid is going to be the Hungarian Levi Revej. The one driver that has not been able to take part so far has been Zhong Wei, the Chinese driver. And unfortunately, he had mechanical problems right from the start of the weekend and has not been able to continue racing. And he'll come back, hopefully, in time for the second weekend of the series at Kuwait Motor Town. That's certainly the plan. So it's going to be a really interesting in the top 10 has a chance to win for my money, certainly because this is the race where anything will happen out on the course. It's going to be a very exciting battle live from Dubai Autodrome. The drivers are going around on their formation lap, and what an exciting battle this promises to be. So Nikhil Bora and Aidan Neat lining up on the front row of the grid. Lorenzo Flusher and Sebastian Ogard on the second. Josh Dufek and Rafael Kamara are on row 3. Andrea Kimi Antonelli lines up alongside Taylor Barnard on the 4th row of the grid. Matthias Zagazeta and Dino Beganovic are on row 5. Then it is Gabriele Mini and Mari Boya together on the 6th row of the grid. Francesco Braschi lines up on row 7 alongside Pepe Marti. Then Sebastian Montoya and Taz Intervivazak. Rafael Villagomez is alongside Michael Shin. Jack Crawford lines up on row 10 of the grid alongside Giovanni Mascio. And then it is Han Chen-Yu on the 11th row alongside Niels Kuhlen. The 12th row of the starting grid sees Daniel Mavlyutyov alongside Brad Benavides. And then Sami Megatunov on the 13th row of the grid. He lines up alongside Nikita Bedrin. And at the back of the grid is the Hungarian Levi Revej, who retired early on in yesterday's race, and hence why he'll have to go from the back of the grid. Well, Gatunif and Bedrin, they obviously retired in their collision. Encounter the second race of 3 this weekend in the Formula Regional Middle East Championship, certified by FIA. The last few cars coming to the starting grid. Jake Sanson with you in the commentary box. Feline Wang down in pit lane. And this is going to be a really exciting battle for the Formula Regional Middle East Championship 2023. The second race of the weekend. And we're going to get to see what Nikhil Bora and Aidan Neate can do from the front row of the starting grid. Lorenzo Flusha and Sebastian Ogard on row 2. Then Dufek, Kamara, Antonelli, Barnard, Zagazeta, Beganovic, Mini and Boya. With several big names further back. Watch for Marti, watch for Montoya and watch for Crawford. They're all going to try and charge their way through the field. The last couple of cars getting into position now as we prepare for race action for the second time out of 3 here on the Dubai Autodrome. 5.39 kilometres of racing. The lights are coming on and we're ready for Formula Regional Middle East Championship racing to continue in 2023. Let's go! Great start from our pole sitter. Nikhil Bora gets a beautiful launch. Aidan Neate does as well. So no problems at all for those two. Looks like a good charge forward from Lorenzo Flusha, trying to squeeze Sebastian Ogard to the first turn. Ogard has made a good launch. He's going to get into 3rd position in turn 1 unless Flusha can hold it round the outside, which he's going to attempt. He comes around the outside, holds the position. Very nicely handled. So Lorenzo Flusha does not lose ground in the early stages. He holds on to 3rd position for the Mumbai Falcons. And now he's tucking in behind the primer of Aidan Neate. But out in front, Nikhil Bora has timed it to perfection. So as they come through the first sector, no major problems at all. Everyone was keeping it nice and tidy. Nikhil Bora has a superb start. And that is exactly where the RHGP driver wanted to be. Out in front, controlling the pace. Looks like a couple of the Mumbai Falcons going to battle further back. In fact, there's 2 of the PHMs getting in the mix there. That's Josh Dufek and the hard-charging Taylor Barnard. So Taylor Barnard seems to have made an electrifying start. Very good news indeed for him as he's just going to try and continue his brilliant pace from yesterday. Is that him going for broke on the inside of his teammate? Certainly looks like it. So Taylor Barnard and Josh Dufek running wheel to wheel as they duel over what is now 5th position. Taylor Barnard has had a taste of silverware. He now wants a taste of victory. He clearly feels he's still got a good car underneath him. Good battles further back between the Mumbai Falcons. That looks like a bit of a duel between Kamara and Antonelli, and they almost came to blows there. So a terrific start. I think Kamara and Antonelli have both been caught out by the hard-charging Dufek and Barnard. So still they continue to duel, but it's going very well indeed for Bora out in front. Nikhil Bora, fresh off the back of winning races and the title for Godspeed Kochi in the Indian Racing League a month ago on the streets of Hyderabad. Still going very well here in Dubai, as he continues to put in an excellent display. Bora, Neate, Flusha, Ogard, Barnard and Kamara. Dufek dropping back behind the Brazilian now. Then Antonelli, Boya and Beganovic from Mini, Brashi and Zagazeta. Then it is Pepe Marti in front of Villa Gomez and Itafuvazak, Crawford and Montoya from Shin and Benavides. So a solid start. Everybody just trying to keep it nice and tidy at the moment. Everybody in the mix, a little bit of dueling as they get down the straight. Up towards the first corner, Antonelli just trying to duel away with Dufek. Made a bold lunge at turn 1, but was not able to make anything come of it. So still, Bora out in front. The Singaporean hoping to hold on to this advantage. He's a very likeable young man, is Nikhil Bora. He has plenty to say and plenty to do. He really got into the spirit of things in the Indian Racing League last month, and now he is back to his Formula Regional campaign. An astonishing display from him so far. Just keeping it nice and tidy out in front. Aidan Neate still just controlling the pace in front of Lorenzo Flusha. Sebastian Ogard still going well. Taylor Barnard, though, up to 5th position, and I think he's still got more to do. Side by side, into the hairpin. And the Mumbai Falcons really making an attempt there. I think that's Kamara trying to fend off on the move on the inside, along with the RHGP of Francesco Brashi. It might be Beganovic actually making the moves forward. I do apologise. So as the cars continue to make solid work on the second lap of the race here. It's a very solid position that they find themselves in. And still, the battle is well and truly joined. The contenders are giving it everything they've got at this point of the race. Still the battles raging as they run through the course. Very exciting challenge as they come through once again. Over the start-finish line, Bora, Neat, Flusha and now Barnard having got past Sebastian Ogard. Kamara and Antonelli, Dufek, Boyer and Mini. Braschi, Marti and Interfuvazak. And Beganovic there in front of Villa Gomez and Jagajeta, Montoya, Crawford and Shin. Up to the first turn, and still you can see drivers are just trying to catch each other out here, trying to find the opportunity for the switcheroo position. So a sensational run for all of the contenders, but Bora still trying to hold fire here in front of Aidan Neat. Flusha going well from Barnard. Barnard has just banged in a 1:56.7, fastest lap of the race, although Antonelli has now just set the fastest first sector of the race, so he is definitely trying to charge his way forward. But an incredible run so far. Nikhil Bora just going so maturely and so smoothly up front. He's not really breaking concentration at any point. I haven't really seen him make an error at any stage. Neat is there in second. Still Flusha, Barnard and Ogard. And incredibly, we have 8 different nations in the top 8 places at the moment. Oh, my apologies, because we have Aidan Neat and Taylor Barnard in the top 4. I missed that one. But Taylor Barnard now in 4th place, trying to take on Lorenzo Flusha. And he was the fastest driver on the racetrack last time around. He's just gone purple in the second sector as well, Taylor Barnard, trying to get back on terms with Lorenzo Flusha. So Barnard is definitely going to be one to watch. He was back in the day a driver for the Rosberg Racing Academy. He was under the wing of the 2016 Formula 1 World Champion Nico Rosberg. And he has made incredible inroads into his Formula Regional career. He's certainly seeming to find a little bit more luck in Formula Regional than he ever did in F4. And he was vice champion in Germany in F4 last year. So across the line they come again. Bora, Neat, Flusha, Barnard, Ogard and Kamara. Look at the battles going on further back. Still great wheel-to-wheel stuff. Dufek and Braschi getting very close to each other as they come off the final turn. And Marti and Mini are now trying to make some progress. What's happened to Beganovic in this race? He's fallen all the way to 14th. So it doesn't look like there's going to be a repeat victory for Dino Beganovic this time. Far from it, in fact. So the battle's definitely going to be a tough one to replicate. Some good duels into turn 1 each time, though, isn't there? And we just saw Taylor Barnard going wheel-to-wheel again with Ogard. Dufek, Braschi and Revej having some... Dufek, Braschi and Marti having some exciting battles out there on the course. Unfortunately, my monitor has gone down briefly. I'm going to try and get it back again as soon as possible. But certainly, Nikhil Bora and Aidan Neat running a very solid race in front of Lorenzo Flusha and Taylor Barnard. Sebastian Ogard having a very solid race so far from Kamara and Antonelli. Boyer is in 8th position. I'm really keeping an eye on Marty Boyer this weekend because obviously he's going to be starting the 3rd race of the season from the front row of the grid. So he's one to keep an eye on as they duel away again. Got 3 or 4 cars in the mix now dueling at this point of the course. This is just behind the top 5. So we've got a nice little gaggle here of cars. This is Boyer, Dufek, Braschi, Marti and Mini. And I think Tazin Defuvazak and Dino Beganovic are in this mix as well. One of the Mumbai Falcons running wide there, I think that is. Or was that the PHM of Josh Dufek running wide, actually? So here they come back into position again. This is the hard braking for the left-hander. Trying their best to get back up the climb. It's not easy to position the car where you need to be. Such a difficult position for the drivers to gain a grasp of. But Bora leads the way. You can see a couple of the drivers running out wide there from the final sector, as nobody wants to play second fiddle to anyone. And that's caused Mini and Beganovic, of all 2 drivers, to go out wide. Oh, the irony. The 2 drivers that drop back are Gabriele Mini and Dino Beganovic. And is Beganovic not circulating anymore? Beganovic hasn't come round. I think Beganovic may be out of this race. Indeed he is. There he is. So that is the race 1 winner, Dino Beganovic, out of this race, and that is devastating for the Mumbai Falcons driver. Victorious yesterday, not going any further today. Certainly not in this race. You can see there's big damage at the back splitter of the car. So Dino Beganovic, I'm afraid the man who won yesterday, we want to see it again, and there was contact between Mini and Beganovic. I can't believe it. For the 2nd race in a row, these two end up getting into the wars. This time they actually do make contact, but Beganovic is out of the race and Mini is down to 20th. Their rivalry is causing an issue now. I did think it was going to be between those two in terms of the championship fight, but in race 2 of the championship, Mini versus Beganovic turns into fireworks here at Dubai. Wow, big drama here so far then. And Mini and Beganovic ending up out of the race. Well, certainly Mini out of contention, Beganovic out of the race. So, well, there's not going to be a repeat performance from the Swede this time, and there is a chance here that this race may go to safety car, because obviously we need to see where Beganovic's car is in relation to the rest of the field. I've got a feeling he might just be okay, actually, because it was off the racing line at the final turn. So he might just be able to get. They might just be able to get away with that without reverting to a safety car. Marty Boyer, meanwhile, has lost ground to Francesco Braschi on the last lap, just trying to pick up the pieces after that incident between Mini and Beganovic. So Bora is your leader, Neat is second, then Flusha, Barnard, Ogard, Kamara still in front of Antonelli, then it's Braschi, who has now got past Marty Boyer, and his countryman is Pepe Marti in 10th place, then Josh Dufek and Townsend de Vivazak from Via Gomez, Crawford, Jagajeta, Montoya, Revej and Bedrin. So still the contenders, making a very solid race of this at the moment. A tough battle continuing. This is going to be a chance at the inside. That's the Prema making the bid then to get through. That is Michael Shin, I do believe, getting through on Gabriele Mini. So that is in the middle of the field. Michael Shin obviously trying to make good work of things. But Gabriele Mini struggling after that little bit of fisticuffs with Dino Beganovic. And with Beganovic out of the race and Mini down in about 20th position at the moment. Look at this duel coming towards us. This is Townsend de Vivazak trying to deal with Josh Dufek. Townsend de Vivazak looking for his way through on the inside line. Dufek holds the car beautifully. He's not going to get a whisker of that from the PHM driver. He's not going to give an inch. He certainly doesn't have to. Meanwhile, we've got this duel going on further up as well. This is a little further down the road. Sebastian Ogard trying to get his move on the inside of Rafael Kamara. So Kamara and Antonelli have both managed to get through on Ogard on this lap. That's Antonelli getting past the Danish driver. So that's Kamara up into 5th and Antonelli up into 6th. Good work from them so far. And Sebastian Ogard down in 5th position as a result. Down in 7th position, I should say, as a result. So Ogard, I don't know whether he made a mistake and the others were just able to take good advantage. Look at the damage that's been left on the outside of the final turn. Fortunately, that's off the racing line, so that shouldn't cause too much of an issue. But Bora is still your leader from Neat, Flusha, Barnard, and now Rafael Kamara and Kimi Antonelli. Ogard down to 7th in front of Braschi, Boyer and Marti. Up to the inside, this is still Duvek versus Entravazak. Still they're dueling away. And Dufek goes off the road. I think his colleague does as well. So that's, I think that might actually have been Villa Gomez who was trying to get past Dufek on that occasion. But still no safety car, which is good news. We kind of wanted the race to continue, but we have retirements. We have Sami Megatuniv, who may have had more damage to that car than we first thought after yesterday's encounter. Dino Beganovic, of course, out of the race after his contact with Gabriele Mini. That's going to be an interesting conversation after the race. But we have 15 minutes to go, plus the additional lap. And Nikhil Bora is still controlling the pace, just a second ahead of Aidan Neat. Lorenzo Flusha is 3rd. Then Barnard, Kamara and Antonelli. Ogard, Braschi, Boyer and Marti. Mini is down to 20th. Beganovic is out of the race after their little contact. Tense times on the pit wall. Everybody just watching their driver in the hope that they are going to get the maximum result possible out of this race. Aidan Neat improves in the first couple of sectors and is actually going quicker than Nikhil Bora now. In both the first and second sectors, Aidan Neat was nearly 0.2 of a second quicker than Nikhil Bora. So Aidan Neat is now starting to come alive in this race a little bit. Needs to keep it flowing all the way through. Bora goes across the line and Neat has brought the gap down to 0.7 of a second. He was 0.3 up on the last lap. And there is a 5-second penalty being added to Mari Boya for jumping the start. That is not good news for Mari Boya. And the Hyderabad Blackbirds by MP driver is now going to suffer the wrath of crawling a little bit too early on the start line. That will only cost him about 4 places at the moment, but as the race continues to play out, that could still be a bit of a thorn in the side for Mari Boya. Very unfortunate indeed for the Spanish driver to currently find himself in dire straits. But certainly there is more drama all the way through. And that earlier contact from Gabriele Mini has really hampered him. He's managed to get his way up to 19th, so he has got back past the Prema of Michael Shin. But still, Nikhil Bora running out in front of Aidan Neate, but the gap has come down to 0.7 of a second. In the first sector, Nikhil Bora has responded though, so it's not all doom and gloom for the RHGP driver. Aidan Neate running a solid second in front of Lorenzo Flusha. The top 3 drivers on the starting grid remain as they were, but yet again it's Taylor Barnard who is the man on the charge. From 8th on the grid has come up to 4th position. So a great run from Taylor Barnard so far. We just saw a bit of an opportunity move there from Pepe Marti to try and get past his Spanish teammate, his Spanish colleague I should say. They're not teammates, they are in different squads. But Mari Boya is trying his best to fend off from Pepe Marti. Marti is trying again, as you can see. And Marti is really trying his luck here in the hope that he can work his way forward. It is not easy. Fascinating situation for all of the contenders as they continue to make good work of things. And still they rage and battle on. But a solid and smooth race battle between these two. Marti has now got through past Mari Boya, so that is a change for position between those two. But Nikhil Bora leads the race from Aidan Neate. Then it is Lorenzo Flusha from Taylor Barnard and Rafael Camara. Antonelli, Ogard, Braschi, Boya and Pepe Marti. Interfuvazak is in front of Villa Gomez and Dufek, then Dagadeta and Crawford in front of Montoya, Bedrin and Revege. So there is just under 12 minutes to go, plus the additional lap on top of that. Very impressive indeed here from Nikhil Bora in the lead of the race, and also from Aidan Neate and Lorenzo Flusha. None of the 3 of them are really making any errors in judgment here. Taylor Barnard, though, is slowly closing in on Flusha. None of these 4 drivers were really at the front end of the field in Formula Regional last year. Certainly not in the Middle East Championship anyway. It was known as the Asian Championship last year. Flusha was racing in it, but he didn't get much of an opportunity to run at the front as he deserved to do. Here's Camara and Antonelli. Rafael Camara, the 17-year-old Brazilian, in front of the 16-year-old Italian from Bologna, Kimi Antonelli, who won pretty much everything there was to win in F4 last year, including the gold medal at the FIA Motorsport Games. Now here he is, having stepped up to Formula Regional. He's had a couple of difficulties over the last few months as well. He had that massive karting accident at the World Championship in 2020, which had a very bad leg break, and then he broke his wrist during the FIA Motorsport Games weekend and still managed, incredibly, to win the gold medal in the F4 final. So an incredible young talent is Andrea Kimi Antonelli. We haven't seen the last of him. If anything, we're just getting started with this boy's legacy. Bora leads, Neate second, Flusha third, Barnard in fourth from Camara, Antonelli, Ogard, Braschi, Marti and Intervivazak. Mari Boya has lost another place then to the other pinnacle VAR. Not exactly ideal for the Spanish driver, but all of their energy is going into race 3 because Mari Boya is going to get to start that race from the front row of the grid after a solid run in the second qualifying session yesterday. So there's a hope that they're going to bounce back in style for race 3. And still the battles rage on, but it's very calm and it's very smooth from the race leaders, which is exactly what you need to be doing at this stage. You've got to keep it nice and focused. So Nikhil Bora, Aidan Neate and Lorenzo Flusha. That is where it's currently looking likely to be the podium finishers at this moment in time. But there are plenty of battles to keep an eye on behind them. 9th position is being hotly contested between Marti, Intervivazak, Boya, Villa Gomez, Dufek, Zagazeta and Crawford. They're all in that little hunt together. So some really exciting challenges to come from the drivers, but Nikhil Bora in front of Aidan Neate and Lorenzo Flusha, the Singaporean, the Brit and the Spaniard. That is looking likely to be the podium, although Taylor Barnard would dearly like to make it 2 podiums in a row if he can. But he's steady at 0.6 of a second behind Lorenzo Flusha. This is something that we talked about a little bit last year. Running in the dirty air, very tricky in these cars because you've got to work your magic all the way through. Crawford getting a little bit wide there as he battles away with Nikita Bedrin. So Crawford has had a bit of a tricky opening round of the season, unfortunately. It's not quite gone his way. So a scintillating challenge and an amazing battle so far, but down the main straight. Oh, we're going a little bit further back, and that's a bit of a run wide there from one of the RHGP drivers. So that could well be a problem for Levi Revej. Has already had his fair share of difficulties this weekend. He can't have any more, really. There's Mini, and Mini is currently dueling away with Sebastian Montoya. So this is turning into a bit of an interesting one between the high-tech teammates. But certainly so far, no sign of any safety cars for that incident earlier on with Dino Beganovic. So we are able to just continue on in full flow. 10 laps completed, 7 minutes 45 on the clock. They complete the lap in just under 2 minutes in Formula Regional. So I estimate that if things continue to go as they are, we could get about 18 laps in here in total. Might be pushing it actually, might be going to about 15 or 7, maybe 15 or 16 laps at the total if you take into account the additional bonus lap. So we should still have a decent amount of laps left in this race still to encounter. And Bora, Neate and Flusha are still very close together. Now it's 0.8 of a second between Bora and Neate at the end of the last lap. A second between Flusha and Neate, but Barnard is all over the back of Lorenzo Flusha now as they duel away for 3rd position. They're going to... Barnard is definitely hungry for the move here to try and get past Lorenzo Flusha if he can make his opportunity come his way. But still they battle on. And the battle is raging everywhere you look around the course at the moment. So there's still going to be this charge forward for 3rd position. Is Barnard going to be able to get his run on Lorenzo Flusha before the end? Certainly got plenty of time to do something about it. Bora, Neate. And Barnard is through. I can tell you that Barnard is through. I missed it, unfortunately, on my monitor. But Barnard into 3rd position now in front of Lorenzo Flusha. So it looks like it's going to be 2 podiums for Taylor Barnard. That is very good news indeed for him. And based on the fact that yesterday's race 1 winner, Dino Beganovic, is out of the race, I think that's actually going to push Taylor Barnard into the lead of the Drivers' Championship, the way things are currently looking. Because he'll have 15 points from yesterday, he'll have another 15 points today. Nikhil Bora is looking likely to end on the win. If he does, he'll be on 26 compared to Beganovic on 25. So I would think that Taylor Barnard, who started last yesterday, is about to take his 2nd podium and potentially the lead of the championship standings. That is such a turnaround in 24 hours. Absolutely incredible from Taylor Barnard. But he's still got to get the job done. He's actually got to finish the job. Can't afford to rest on his laurels. He's actually got to go for it. So with Barnard currently in front of Flusha, that's going to be the challenge for 3rd position. We've got a nice little battle cooking up further back. This is still a very intriguing battle behind the leaders. Lots of drivers trying to go through in position, wheel to wheel. A tight run. This is PHM versus RHGP. This is Josh Dufek, Matthias Zagazeta and Jack Crawford, all dueling together for position. And neither driver is prepared to give best. Something's got to give. Crawford had a look there and has managed to split them. So Crawford has now got between Zagazeta and Dufek. But now Dufek is going to try and come back at Crawford. Crawford's got to hold on to the inside line. You've got to think very carefully here because you've got Zagazeta in front of you as well. In the hope that Zagazeta is going to give a little bit of space, and there's a little bit of a rub of wheels. And it's Josh Dufek that comes off 2nd best. So Crawford gets through. A very tough race battle so far between those 3, and this is only for 13th position, would you believe? But there's still having a ding-dong fight as if it's for the win. So Bora now just 0.6 of a second ahead of Aidan Neate. Taylor Barnard is just 1.2 seconds back. So Aidan Neate is trying to save his best for last here. I estimate we've got about 3, maybe 4 laps to go. Because obviously we run to 28 minutes plus the additional bonus lap on top of that. This is a very intriguing situation for all of the contenders at the moment. Nikhil Bora, Aidan Neate and Taylor Barnard, 1, 2 and 3. The Singaporean and the 2 Brits on the podium at this moment in time, with the Mumbai Falcons finishing off the top 6 for Flusha, Kamara and Antonelli. A very tall order, a very tough race battle. Still they duel away. And we've seen some great racing on this course so far, but we're still getting to see it as we watch Bora and Neate. Neate is hunting down Nikhil Bora. He wants the victory. He can sense that there's a chance to get it. He's not done yet. He knows that there's still a chance. Is there going to be an opportunity to get through? That's going to be the main key factor now. A very solid situation for all of the contenders as they continue. But is Bora going to be able to hang on? Neate is really dialing up the wick now into the final turn, and you can see that Neate is all over the back of Nikhil Bora. If he just gets one whiff of him into the first corner, then this is going to change hands. Down the straight, Aidan Neate is going to have the slipstream. Is Nikhil Bora going to be able to place his car in the right part of the racetrack? Down to turn 1. Not close enough. So Aidan Neate has still got to be patient. Nikhil Bora's still got to be calm. This lap and then 2 more by my mathematics. So 3 laps to go, including this one by my math. Look at the battle further back. It's still raging all the way down the field. You can see there Sebastian Montoya chasing after Gabriele Mini, then Shin, Mashio, Benavides and Kulan. Mavlutiov is there at the tail end. We've had retirements from Revej, Han, Beganovic and Megatudif, I do believe. Well, Revej is just coming to pit lane. I'm not sure if Han is still going or not, actually. He might still be on track, but here come the leaders. Bora, Neate, Barnard, Flusha, Kamara and Antonelli. Neate is doing everything he possibly can to hold on. Here comes the dive on the inside. That is Rafael Kamara trying to fend off from Antonelli. So still trying to keep it together. It's not going to be easy to fend off Antonelli, though. He is fired up and motivated. So this is going to be an extraordinary challenge for the contenders in this one. An exciting battle continuing on its way. And look, Antonelli now tries to go one way and then the other. Still trying to find a little bit more space. Diving up to the inside. Now going to the far side, because that's where Kamara places him. Kamara trying to hang on here. Antonelli going the long way round. Tries to cut back in. No, you don't, says Rafael Kamara. And now it's 2x2, hurrah, check it out. We've got Bora and Neate, then we've got Barnard and Flusha, and then we've got Kamara and Antonelli. A very solid duel continuing between all of these contenders. 35 seconds on the clock as they come across the finish line. So we've still got this lap plus 1 more. Aidan Neate is reeling in Nikhil Bora with 1 lap to go. This is extraordinary. A very close encounter now, a very tight fight. But is this going to be enough? Can Aidan Neate overhaul Nikhil Bora in the closing stages? He's got to be patient, he's got to be calm, he can't overwork the tyres. So this is a very interesting situation for the contenders, but can Aidan Neate move his way forward? Nikhil Bora just running a slightly wider radius out of the hairpin at the top there on the banking, down the back straight, and here they come. Bora, Neate, Barnard, Flusha, Kamara, Antonelli. In the background you've got Francesco Braschi, who's very much on his own. Here comes Antonelli again. Antonelli versus Kamara. Kamara holds the inside line. Antonelli defends. Comes back in. Bora versus Neate, no change. Barnard versus Flusha, no change. Kamara versus Antonelli, still defending from each other. but no change. So let's see how this continues. But Bora is there from Neat, Barnard, Flusha, Kamara and Antonelli. Braschi, Ogard, Marti and Interfeverzak. And then we have Boyer and Villa Gomez, Zagazeta and Crawford from Dufek, Bedrin, Mini Montoya, Shin, Machio and Benavides, Kulan, Mavlutiov. And then we have the retirements. Han, Revej, Beganovic and Megatunev side by side. Antonelli going to try and take on Kamara. No chance. Antonelli's got it sorted, so is Kamara. And still they rage and battle on, up to the inside line. Careful, boys, don't hit each other. That was very tight indeed between them. And now we continue on into the last lap. Antonelli trying his best with Kamara. Still they battle on. So Antonelli trying to get his move on Kamara, but it's not going to happen. But is Neat going to get close enough to Nikhil Bora to challenge for the victory? Aidan Neat has got a hope now. There we are, last lap. We've got a hope that Nikhil Bora is going to be able to cope with Aidan Neat for the last lap, because there is not much to choose between these two. Looks as though Kamara and Antonelli are going to finish together on the circuit, but who's going to be in front of the other? Nikhil Bora has got a lot of pressure on his young shoulders here to try and hold on in front of Aidan Neat. Two drivers with an amazing future in front of them. And Taylor Barnard there in third position as well. But it looks to me as though Nikhil Bora might just have the edge on Aidan Neat. Neat's not giving it up. He's going to keep pushing. He's going to keep hoping that the Singaporean up front is going to make a mistake. But Nikhil Bora is calm. He is smooth. He is collected. He's dealt with a lot of pressure before in his karting days, in his single-seater days. A nice little battle coming towards us as well. That is the duel between Josh Dufek and Nikita Bedrin, the teammates. And Bedrin gets through. So Bedrin makes the overtake. But Bora versus Neat is going to come down to the wire, that's for sure. Final couple of corners, and Nikhil Bora is not going to make the mistake. The RHGP driver has held on right to the last. When the pressure was dialed up to 11, when he had the chance to make a mistake, he was calm, he was collected, he was controlled. It's a deserved victory out of the final turn. Nikhil Bora wins in Formula Regional Middle East in Dubai. Yes, sir. Yes, 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 sir. Nikhil Bora will fly the flag on the podium for Singapore. Beautiful. Still racing right to the last. Couple of drivers running wide on the far side of the course. I think this is Bedrin and Mini having a great final lap flourish, and it is indeed. But what a fantastic run from Nikhil Bora. That could easily have fallen away from him, but it did not. The destiny was always going to be with him. He was always going to get the victory in the end. You've got to feel for Gabriele Mini. The pressure getting to him in that duel with Dino Beganovic. They came together and it ruined everything for both men. But Nikhil Bora, for the RHGP team, a worthy and triumphant victor. Good job. Good boy. That was awesome racing. So much pressure from Aidan Neat and Taylor Barnard throughout, but he would not let it slip. This is why Nikhil Bora is one to watch for the future. Such an incredible talent. His younger brother Akshay, of course, is racing in F4 UAE as well. But there is definitely something special about Nikhil Bora. Everybody will know who he is now. He was part of the team alongside Alistair Young that gave Godspeed Kochi the title in Indian Racing League last month in Hyderabad. And here he is in his own measure for the RHGP team, taking victory at Dubai Autodrome his way in total and utter command. Didn't put a wheel wrong in that race. Absolutely deserved it. Full credit to Aidan Neat in second place though. He really didn't give up. Made sure that the pressure was piled on Nikhil Bora right to the finish line. It may not have been quite as spectacular as race one, but I tell you what, Nikhil Bora, who had all the pressure in the world to lose it, did not let it slip. He seized his opportunity and he claimed it. Brilliant drive. Brilliant work from Nikhil Bora. And it's three different teams in the podium once again. RHGP, Prema and PHM. With the Mumbai Falcons 4th, 5th and 6th. And by my maths, it's not confirmed yet, so don't quote me on it. But I'm fairly confident that Taylor Barnard has just taken the lead in the championship with a second podium in a row, which when you consider he started yesterday's race from dead last is quite astonishing. Taylor Barnard is definitely turning into the driver of the weekend here, and I think it's going to take something pretty special to keep him from that accolade in the third race later as well. But a fabulous run from Nikhil Bora. He wins from Aidan Neate and Taylor Barnard. What a performer Taylor Barnard is. Another third position. Okay, maybe it wasn't quite as hard as yesterday because he came from 8th on the grid, but let's not forget that he will have had some very intriguing battles with his tyre strategy. Another third place for the PHM driver. Finally, after years of strife and bad luck, Taylor Barnard is finally getting the chance to prove what he can do. And he can do a lot. However, this man can soak it up. All of the pressure, all of the demands on him, and he is a winner. And a very deserving one too. There is his brother Akshay Bora coming over to celebrate with Nikhil. They're very close, these two brothers. And Nikhil Bora gets the job done for the RHGP team. In his second race in Formula Regional, Nikhil Bora is a race winner. 2 right. And a very deserving victory it is too. And ironic there that he's actually just being congratulated by Arman Ibrahim and Aditya Patel, who are the championship coordinators of the Indian Racing League. They watched him win that title last month, and now he has come to the Formula Regional Middle East to win here in Dubai. Aidan Neate in second from Taylor Barnard. What a drive from the Brit. Flusha, Kamara and Antonelli. Then Francesco Braschi and Sebastian Ogard in front of the pinnacles of Pepe Marti and Tazin de Vavazak. Mali Boya in 11th place from Rafa Villa Gomez and Matthias Zagazeta. Then Jack Crawford in 14th in front of Nikita Bedrin and Joshua Duvek. Gabriele Mini and Sebastian Montoya. Very difficult races for the high-tech twins. Michael Shin and Giovanni Mascio in front of Brad Benavides, and then Niels Kuhlen in 22nd in front of Dan Mavlyutov and Han Chen-Yu. Levi Revej out of the race, so too were Dino Beganovic and Sami Megatuniv. Well, a great start to Formula Regional Middle East 2023. 2 different winners, Dino Beganovic yesterday and Nikhil Bora today. But by my maths, the championship leader is now the man who started yesterday's race from dead last, Taylor Barnard. I love Formula Regional, don't you? Just incredible to watch what these guys have been able to achieve. And the PHM Racing team now have a championship contender on their hands. It was looking bleak and dismal yesterday. Not now. What a turnaround. Taylor Barnard is definitely earning the reputation of comeback kid. He's been absolutely extraordinary here in Dubai. And that is a fabulous return to form. So, let's go and catch up with Nikhil Bora. Our pit lane correspondent, Feline Wang, is down there in pit road.
Hey, Nikhil, congratulations. First win of the season. Tell us about the race. It seems like you defend really well.
Yeah, we had a really good first lap, and I think I prepped the tires quite well to be in the first lap. And then yeah, it was strong pace in the first part of the race, and then I had a lockup. There was a bit of debris on the floor, and it stopped the front left, and then I had a flat spot the rest of the race. So that made it a lot more difficult, but I think in the end we were able to manage the gap quite well, and we didn't really need to defend. So yeah, I think it was a well done race. Yeah.
Congratulations. Thank you. 刚刚呢，我问到 Nikhil 他对这场比赛怎么看？他说他起步起得非常好，而且呢，在前半段一直保持了一个非常好的速度。后面呢，他出现了一些技术问题，不过呢，问题不大，因为后面呢，他并不需要太多的防守的动作，那么也取得了第1名，他非常的开心。Back to you guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Feline. This win was very special indeed for Nikhil Bora. It's definitely the pinnacle of his young driving career so far. And a really exciting opportunity to see what comes from here. Dubai Autodrome take 2 saw Nikhil Bora and Aidan Neat charge away down to the first corner. Smooth, serene and very dictatorial out front. Nobody was even going to creep into their airspace once they got through the first couple of corners. Some great duels and some great battles throughout. Plenty of drivers showcasing great skill and dexterity out there on the course. For the whole, it was relatively clean until Gabriele Mini and Dino Beganovic met again. Yesterday it came close, but today, too close. The two drivers ended up tangling, and with Beganovic out of the race and Mini down the order, the rivalry is just going to intensify as a result of that. It's a big disaster for F1 winner Beganovic. He's out, and unfortunately for his rival Gabriele Mini, he's in trouble. The racing continued all the way down the field. It wasn't just at the front end where there were duels. Some great racing all the way through the mid-pack, even if drivers overstepped the limit a little bit. But that's what is brilliant about this particular championship. The competitors are giving us everything they possibly have in terms of their racecraft and incredible driving ability. Duels all the way through. Even Sebastian Montoya found himself in dire straits at stages. And so too did his teammate Gabriele Mini, who he ended up dueling with in the closing stages. Taylor Barnard, though, managing to fight his way through to the podium. Josh Dufek handling himself quite well for PHM as well. But everybody came to play, put in a good display in a good race. And despite a little bit of nudging here and there, it was a great fight between Nikhil Bora and Aidan Neat. Neither driver made a mistake at any point. And despite the battles between Kamara and Antonelli, they kept it clean. Despite pressure right to the last lap from Aidan Neat, there was never going to be anyone other than Nikhil Bora on the top step of the podium. The Singaporean got the job done in fine style from Aidan Neat and the new championship leader. Who would have thought it? Taylor Barnard. Such an extraordinary display of racing then in the Formula Regional Middle East Championship Race 2. Whilst it may not have been quite as sizzling and nail-biting as it had been in the race yesterday, it's certainly been an exciting one in terms of what it means for the championship order. By my mathematics, Taylor Barnard now finds himself in the championship lead by just 4 points to Nikhil Bora, who picked up the point from finishing 10th yesterday, and obviously the 25 points, I should say, for the win today. And here they come to the podium. Taylor Barnard, take a bow. You have been amazing over the last 24 hours. Second place for Aidan Neat. I'm feeling he'll go one better over the course of this season. But Nikhil Bora of Singapore, a very deserving victor indeed here. An excellent display, a great victory, and a great result for the RHGP team. What a great run from Nikhil Bora. An excellent performance and a fantastic victory. And it could well be the first of many if he gets his tactics right over the course of this season. Taylor Barnard, absolutely ecstatic. He must have been so demoralised after qualifying yesterday when his times were disallowed. He had to start from the back. No matter, I'll still get 2 podiums out of this weekend. Aidan Neat, a brilliant second. A fabulous victory for Nikhil Bora. And he also picks up the rookie victory as well. What a great start to the season this has already proved to be. We've got 3 great drivers up at the front end of the championship standings. Taylor Barnard, Nikhil Bora and Dino Beganovic. And with Mari Boyer on the front row of the starting grid with Kimi Antonelli for race 3, we could see even more drama going into race 3. Bring it on. I love this time of year. You're always guaranteed action, suspense, intrigue and great racing. From Feline Wang, from Jake Sanson and from all of us here, that's race 2 over. We've got one more right around the bend.